Do I have to? Do I really, really have to? You guys, you guys don't even watch this show, right? Like, the show's gotten so stupid, nobody actually watched this show still, right? Right? Except for me, because I do reviews, but, I mean, that's just, there's no other reason to watch this show. Like, it has gotten so bad. I can't imagine anybody who actually watches the show for entertainment anymore. There's no way. If you still watch the show and you still love what they're doing, please contact a therapist immediately to get your brain checked out and see what's wrong with you. Because this is just everything that I absolutely hate about the show, wrapped up into one little present with a nice little bow on top. I'm just kidding, it's not a present, and there's no bow on top. This is like a pile of turds, and just throw in some extra helping of throw up and vomit. This was absolutely the worst episode to date. And that's saying a lot because there was an episode where somebody got killed for fantasy football. This is worse than that for so many reasons. There's nothing enjoyable about this episode at all. So, I'm Mason Brock Henderson. This is Bones, Season 11, Episode 12, The Murder of the Meninist. Yes, there are Meninists in this episode, as well as feminists. Okay. So, just for clarity, I don't know what happened, but Fox got messed up or something around this time, because for some reason it started cutting for the last 15 minutes of the episode up until the last 5 minutes, I think. So I got to see the conclusion, which is pretty much all I needed to see. But there was, I can't remember the last thing that I saw them talking about. I can't remember now. I remember most of the first, I pretty much saw the entire first half of the episode. And then I missed some of the third quarter and some of the fourth quarter, and then got the very end of it. So that's how I'm doing this review, and I can still tell you exactly how I feel about it, because I have no doubt that what was in that little missed timeline, aside from Brennan punching a guy in the face, which I saw in the previews last week, I can tell you exactly what happened, most likely. I'm not going to try, but I could probably do it. So overall, the case itself was annoying to watch because you've got two groups of people that are both just idiots. Because one is fighting for men's equality, which I don't give a crap. Like, really? If anything, there is a little bit less equality for women. Just a little bit. Like, the women in this episode, the feminazis as they were called, they were idiots too, because frankly, what they're like, the whole pay thing, the equal pay, fine, I can understand that, but most of the time these feminazis are like, we need to have more rights than men. Like, they want to push themselves above men. They want to make themselves seem more powerful than men. It's like, that's not equality at all. And the Meninists are obviously just a bunch of cowardly men who are too scared to stand up for themselves. Frankly, if you're a Meninist or a feminist watching this, I don't care what you think of me. Personally, I think women are awesome because I like women. And men, I have a few guy friends that are cool to hang around sometimes, but on the whole, most guys are jackasses, so I don't have an opinion there. So this whole thing of Meninists and feminists are just so uninteresting, but then to have a whole episode about it, just them arguing back and forth about, oh, equality, oh, this isn't equality, well, you're not equality either, and blah, blah, blah. It's just yapping. That's all it is. The entire episode is just yapping back and forth. And if that were the worst of it, that would be one thing. Like, if that was the worst thing about this episode, I would say, you know what, the case was stupid, the whole Meninist feminist thing. At least they didn't have somebody actually get killed over Meninist issues. Like, that would have been really stupid. At least in this one, the guy was paying alimony or something like that, and his wife was screwing the contractor. So he was trying to find proof of that so he didn't have to pay alimony anymore. He gets killed because of that. The wife is crazy. Okay, I can accept that. It's a better reason than, this guy was fighting for some sort of Meninist issue and somebody killed him because of that. That would have been the second dumbest killing in the show after fantasy football. So, like I said, that's not the dumbest thing. That is one of the dumb things, one of the many dumb things, not the dumbest thing. We go even dumber into having Booth and Brennan fight about jinxes and the Flyers. They've had some dumb arguments before. They've had some really dumb arguments before. This one just kind of takes the cake. I don't know why, but something about the fact that they're arguing over the fact that Brennan has been watching the Flyers games with Booth, and they've been losing recently. So he sees her as a jinx. He's, oh, you're bad luck. It turns into this fiasco for the entire episode that we have to sit through. If it was something that was just mentioned as a joke, I'd laugh at it. This is not mentioned as a joke. This is mentioned as something real. Like, Booth and Aubrey are talking about it, and Aubrey's like, oh, you need to deal with this now. Really? Really, people? Like, I understand people are superstitious. But, I mean, come on. You're actually going to kick your wife out. She's trying to watch your favorite sport with you. Do you know what I would give to have a girlfriend that would sit down and watch a Chelsea game with me? And understands football, soccer, whatever you want to call it. Understands it? A girl that would love to sit down and watch the sport with me? Do you have any idea how awesome that would be? She is sitting down and watching the sport with you, trying to understand it for you, and you're going to kick her out because you think she's bad luck. And you're going to argue with her about it for the entire episode. Not even just one or two jokes at the beginning, at the end. No, it's at the beginning, it's a little bit in the middle, it's a little bit more in the middle, a little bit more in the middle, and then it's at the end. God, and that's not even the dumbest part. The dumbest part is how much of a jackass Hodges is being in this entire freaking episode. You cannot tell me that you watch this episode and you not want to just throw Hodgins out of the entire Jeffersonian. You cannot tell me that you did not watch this episode and think, you know what, it would have been better if Hodgins had gotten blown up by the bomb, not paralyzed. I know you thought of it, because I thought of it the entire episode. It was so freaking frustrating. Every single time he started in a scene, every single time he popped up in a scene, it was some sort of mention of, oh, I'm paralyzed. Every time. It's one thing to have your character be an asshole and have him written as just this self-loathing idiot who doesn't want anybody. It's another thing entirely to write him like this and then have your characters written around it in such a way that they are actually okay with it and still trying to help him despite of this. You know how frustrating it is to watch this entire episode. The only reason I'm not screaming more is because it's late and I don't want to wake up anybody. This is so stupid. Because the entire episode, he's just being an asshole to everybody. Everyone. It's not just the Latino doctor who called him out at one point. It's not just Cam. It's not just Brennan. It's Angela too. The one woman who stood beside him, the one woman, I talked about it last week whenever he lied about what the doctor said about his regeneration. He lied to her about it. I thought this was going to turn into a fiasco later on. No, she found out, and at the beginning of this episode said she already knew, and is okay with the fact that she lied to her. Or he lied to her. She is okay with it. Stands by him through all of this. stood by him through everything, and he is treating her like a piece of crap. And for some reason, she's still trying to help him. I'm just like, really? Really? I'm about to pull up my freaking hair because I don't understand why these characters are acting so stupid right now. And here, you want me to go through each of the characters? One, Angela. She should just divorce him right now. He even says at the end of this episode, this is not going to get any better. I'm not going to get any better. You should just leave. I'm like, yes, please. In fact, you try your hardest in court to get Michael Vincent and the other... I can't remember if they're having another kid or not. Do your best to get all of that because he's going to be an awful father. You need to get the hell out right now and go find somebody who's going to love and care for you like you loved and cared for him throughout all of this. I will take you. And I think Angela's pretty. Cam, number 2, is his boss. If I ever talk to my boss in such a way that Hodgins spoke most of this episode to Cam like, you can bet every penny in your bank account I'll be out the door within 5 seconds. If my tone ever reached what Hodgins' tone has reached throughout this entire episode, I'd be gone quicker than that. Because you don't talk to your boss that way. Whenever they ask you to do something, whenever they're talking to you about, you don't ignore them, you don't raise your tone of voice, you don't get all sarcastic and snippy. No, you do what you're supposed to do. You listen to your boss. And she's just like, whatever. Here, let me try to cheer you up by doing some experiments. Huh? Cam, grow some balls and get him out. Just kick him out. Fire him if you have to. It doesn't matter that he's paralyzed. He's already all... Just get him out. And then, the Latino doctor, I can't remember his name. Honestly, this episode has made me like his character. Because he is the only one acting like he should. There's a moment where Hodgins comes in, and he's like, so, you got something for me that you couldn't have brought to my table? That's the only reason why you would have me come over here. And he comes back with his own little snarky comment. He's like, well, I thought you didn't want me to pity you. Because that's how he's been acting. Everybody's been trying to accommodate him, and he's just like, yeah, whatever, I got this. And so the guy doesn't try to accommodate him, and he's still got something smart to say, so he says something smart back. I'm just like, yeah, you tell. And then Hodgins says something about this guy who got killed, how he could be such a... It's just like, yeah, there's no reason for anybody to treat their loved one like that. Clearly making reference to how Hodgins is treating Angela right now. I'm just like, you go, dude. In fact, I'm going to look up his name right now because he deserves to have his name said in my review because of how great his character was in this one. Give me a second. No. There are a lot of people. Rodolfo Fuentes. He's the only character that was actually acting like he should have. He was... Everything that Hodgins was giving to him, he was picking it back up and giving it right back. Because nobody deserves that from Hodgins. Nobody deserves to be treated that way. Nobody did anything to deserve that sort of treatment. It's just Hodgins being a self-loathing little, oh, poor pitiful me, I'm gonna be mad at everybody, mad at the world. He's being a little baby. And everybody's treating him like, oh, he's just this poor guy. He's just struggling right now. I mean, he pretty much got blown up, and now he's paralyzed, and he may never walk. I mean, poor Hodgins. No, you treat him like that, you're just encouraging him. Treat him like he deserves to be treated. Just give him a swift kick in the ass, out the door if you have to, and let him figure his own self out. Don't try to baby him. Don't try to help him along the way. No. None of that. This episode, all of it, It just got me so sick of it. And honestly, I want Hodgins to be out of the show now. Like, I want him to be dead at this point. I want them to kill off Hodgins' character, because if I have to deal with another episode of him making "Oh Poor Pitiful Me" and, talking down to everybody on the team, I'm probably just gonna go find TJ Thine, the guy that plays Hodgins, and kill him myself. Because I can't take this anymore. It was one episode, and not even a full episode. Like I said, I got cut off for some of it. And I still hate his character right now. Maybe they did that on purpose so that next episode when he dies we'll cheer. But honestly, the way everybody was treated, it's just so unrealistic, so frustrating. That's about all I can say for this. Okay, no. Previews for next week got me so excited at first, and then just proceeded to remind me that this is Bones and they have no clue what they're doing, because they have this intense music playing and they're talking about a serial killer. It's like, will this be will this crazy case be the one that pushes Bones to the edge? And they're talking about, you can't get inside this guy's mind, Bones. You can't let this happen. I can't remember exactly what they said, but pretty much it seems like it's a bit more of a psychological moment. There's a serial killer on the loose. It's like, oh, this looks into, and then they bring on the little crazy chick that took Aubrey's place whenever he was incapacitated. This is cray cray, isn't it? Like, no, 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 no. You had me. You had me for like 10 seconds. I was like, oh, this could be good. And then you went and you have this girl, oh, this is cray cray. And then Aubrey's like, oh, maybe you're cray cray. I'm like, no. It's just more proof that this show has completely lost its edge. It's lost any sense of what is a good show. Because it used to be a good show. It's not anymore. It has lost that officially. I mean, most of the season has been crap. This episode, and then what I saw of the previews for next episode, it shows they have no clue what they're doing. They're just kind of throwing episodes together like, oh, well, maybe this will be good. And it's being awful. So, those are my opinions. If you watch this god-awful show too, and for some reason you like it, go ahead and tell me how much you hate me. I don't care. I don't care about anything at this point. Bones has just completely sucked my caring out. So anyway, leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more Bones reviews. I'll see you at the next one. Peace out.